Alright then, like I said last week, we've got 3 things to do this week. And then we can move on to unlocking cars. I haven't done ice racing in a while, so that'll be a nice change of pace. I haven't driven the Beetle yet, and I don't really want to. Oh, full Puma! Look at that. I'll go for the Corolla. I don't think I'm ever going to unlock an alternative paint job for any of the ice racing cars, purely because of how short the ice racing tracks are. Although in real life, ice racing is done on, ice rinks in those little arenas. You know what I'm talking about? So basically, what I'm saying is that Rallisport Challenge 2 lacks simulation value. And this is a circuit. Oops, fuck's sake. This is going to be a circuit race with other cars. So, like I said last week, I'm switching to third-person view for it. I hope that's satisfactory for everyone. I know that I'm fine with it. Actually, to be honest, I think I'm going to go for bonnet cam again. Not cockpit view, because I want to be able to turn left. I mean right. I never learned my left and rights properly. I got taught them at some holiday thing where they had those cars, and you can stick a pound in them and drive around a little bit. You know the tiny little ones. I learned left and right at one of those because the woman that was in charge of looking after them was make it more interesting, telling everyone to obey the rules of the road, that kind of thing. And she said, alright, at the next junction turn left. I turned right. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, well, how am I supposed to tell which way is left and right? So she made 2 L's with her fingers, right? Or, stick your first finger up and your thumb out. And the hand that makes an L, that's left. So that was the day that I learned I was right-handed. That's my not interesting at all learning which way is which story. And I never really truly bothered to, internally memorize that. I can do left and right, but it just takes me a moment to think about, unless I can stick my hands out in front of me, which is yet another reason why I probably shouldn't be on the road. There you are, I am. Probably won't be today, because by the time I get done recording it'll be dark, but pretty soon. There is, if I go down the country laneway on my way home from school, there's a couple of roads. Well, it's not even a road, and there's not even a couple, there's just one. But I've spotted it a few times, and there's usually no one really around, but it's what looks like a farm track, or some kind of walking path, alright, that disappears up this field over into these woods. And since my bike is a supermoto type deal, although we gotta bear in mind it's on shit nylon tires that won't grip, so doing this in winter is probably not a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do some light off-roading. And I don't know how much trouble I'll get in, although, as everyone knows, you're not breaking the law until you get caught. So that's my plan. If anyone spots me, I'm just gonna get out of there as quickly as possible and never go back. I probably won't be able to do that today though, because, as I say, by the time I get done recording it's going to be dark. And I can't remember what I was talking about before I brought up my shit plan for taking my supermoto off-road. just, you know, a tangent that I went on, and now I can't remember how we, or how I got onto it. It always seems to be ice racing events where I start talking about animated movies. But that's not going to stop me from talking about an animated movie. Me and the gang went out last night, and by gang I mean just 3 of us. Went out last night and watched Into the Spider-Verse, which was alright. It wasn't bad. It wasn't your, you know, standard fucking Sony Pictures animation fare. I don't know, I don't really like comic books. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like comic books really, and I'm not a huge fan of superheroes. And I don't know what the fuck's happened to my voice. I should have a drink. Yeah, no, but it was good. I liked it. Good. It was alright. I don't understand why, because I might not like comic books, but hold on, let me take a drink. Got me some of that nice, refreshing tap water. I don't know if anyone who watches me ever used to watch the Slap Train, but I watched him a lot when I was, must have been 12, 13. I watched the Slap Train all the time. I remember he used to do this thing where every video he'd bring some food or drink to his desk with him, and then he'd pause, you know, in his "I'm Canadian but I desperately want to be black" voice and mannerism. He'd say something like, "Ayo, hold up, let me get some of that," you know, whatever it was, coffee probably, and then he'd give it a nice big and then he said, "Oh, that's hot, that's hot." What the Alright, hold on, because I was trying to do the Will Smith YouTube Rewind voice there, but I mixed it, I think, a bit with my Wii Sports baseball announcer voice, which is an interesting decision. Not one I would recommend you take. Never been all that good with impressions, and I haven't been paying all that much attention to the Will Smith YouTube Rewind meme, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. So you know, my ability to accurately give it the old impression is limited, to say the least. I don't understand why you use the rally cars in the crossover events instead of the rally cross cars. Is there an explanation for that hidden somewhere within the lore files of this game that I could read? I must have mentioned this before, but I'm going to bring it up again now. You know, doesn't really make sense to me, because the crossover tracks are, you know, on the most part just as tight as the rallycross courses, you know, especially compared to the actual rally stages in the game. The rallycross tracks and the crossover tracks have more in common than the crossover tracks and the rally stages. So why is it that you only use the rallycross cars in rallycross events, rather than in crossover events as well? You know, that's funny. Not in a funny ha-ha kind of way, but in a gee, that's interesting kind of way. If we've all played Lego Island before, right? Lego Island 2, sorry. Lego Island 2. I never played... wait, shit, was it Lego Island 2? Yeah, had to have been. Lego Island 2. I had Lego Island Extreme Stunts, but I could never get it working. So, you know. I don't think I even have that disc anymore. Could do. Yeah, I do. I just seen it. Alright. I'll stick with what one here have I driven the least? The Lancer 6.5. Yeah, we'll stick with bonnet cam. I'm liking bonnet cam. I don't know why it must be out of forced exposure because Gran Turismo 4 forced me into it, but these cameras mounted on the car kind of views I started enjoying a bit more than the camera floating behind kind of views in recent days. I don't know what that's about. I think in Need for Speed I'll keep using third person. Oh, I don't know. I might switch to bonnet cam. We'll see. After I'm done with these two hill climb stages, I'm switching over to Need for Speed, so we'll see if I want to do a bonnet cam there or not. By the time this video is out, you'll already have seen if I actually did decide to use bonnet cam in Need for Speed. Oh, that could be right. Could equally not be right. Now's not the time for talking about Need for Speed, now's the time for talking about Rallisport Challenge 2. Because I've been accused of not enjoying the games I'm playing. I already provided an explanation for why it might sound like that, but this environment, by the way, is comfy as fuck. The road hasn't got any snow on it, but there's snow all around. And then because the sun is setting, it's all red. So I wonder if the engine note of the car changes through the tunnels, depending on where the camera is. I'm pretty sure I haven't driven the Mitsubishi hill climb car on this stage yet. So, you know, there's no going back for a comparison. Hopefully it makes the engine a bit noisier. Yeah, there's a street light still coming on, even though it's, you know, still pretty bright outside. I'm liking this environment a lot. The only problem with setting the camera a bit lower like this than I would usually have it if it was third person view is that you can't see much beyond the immediate environment. I can't remember what game it was I was thinking about, but there's one, but I had it in my head where there's a straight bit of road that goes past a lake, and the track is called, I'm pretty sure the track's name has something to do with the fact that it's near a lake. Well, I can't for the life of me remember what it might be. I can't even remember what game it's in. But you drive near a lake, and it's pretty difficult to see at the best of times. So, oh shit! I kind of expected the tunnel to be straight, not have a corner in it. Yeah, but the lake is difficult to see at the best of times, and if you had your camera mounted on the car like this, it'd be nigh on impossible. Big old jump. Hill climb cars usually aren't built to have to deal with jumps, right? Pretty sure. There's certainly there's nothing like that, you know, going up Pikes Peak. And that's the only hill climb that anyone gives half a shit about. Right, now I'm pretty sure we're driving in... I'm driving in places I haven't before. Oops. Accidentally put the AI out of the track. 10 miles? Fucking hell. We're gonna be here all night. And we've just gone over the 16-minute mark as well. Alright, I wonder how long this is going to take. Not going to be any more than like 5 minutes, is it? We're not in for a half-hour episode. Nobody... There's no need to pause and get a snack, is what I'm saying. Although the low light levels could make this a little interesting. As I attempt to pick my way out the cold blues that they've used to show that the desert at night is fucking freezing cold. That's a fact that I know. Because of the way deserts are, they're hot as fuck during the day, and they're cold as fuck in the night. That's a little bit of a geography for you. I was top of my class in geography year 9. I dropped it. I dropped geography for history. I don't know why, and I don't know if it was a mistake. Maybe it was. Anyway, shitting hell. Corners are tighter than I expected. I was top of my class in geography, year 9, and the geography teacher says to me, "Alright Joe, it's the end of the year. You can choose, you know, what DVD we put on. Check it out, we've got Michael Bay's 2012, and then the class goes, "Wait!" And then there was some, you know, Planet Earth type nature doco that are all the rage these days. But I'm not really interested in. I prefer Commotion in the Ocean for learning about the blue planet. There you go. I can't remember any of the lines from Commotion in the Ocean other than the title, obviously. But that's not the point. Brake on the tarmac gives you increased stopping grip. Anyway, he didn't want us to pick, well us, I mean me. He didn't want me to pick 2012, but it was pretty clear, you know, that apart from it being a fucking shite movie, the class was pretty clearly in favour of 2012. I didn't want to watch a fucking nature documentary. I mean, I knew 2012 was supposed to be shit, so I thought, well, it might be a laugh. And then, you know, he put it on, and then the whole class just talked through it, including me, to be fair. We were just sort of turned around and started having conversations while it was on instead. I think it ended up being that either the geography teacher was the only one actually watching it, or he ended up talking to the kids at the front. I don't know. I sat right at the back in geography. Geography was right. And I was good at it. I can't for the life of me remember why I dropped it for history. Oh, what a retard am I. Oh well, I was good at history back then too. I've been on a downward spiral ever since. To be honest, I've been on a downward spiral since about year 6. And, you know, I'm sending off university applications now, so it's only going to get worse. Earlier on, I was wondering why you drove, in this game, you drive rally cars in the crossover events instead of rally cross cars. Now it's time for another question about a rally game, Dirt 3. Why does the co-driver sit there and give you instructions during the, I forget what they're called, the head-to-heads, which are essentially crossover. It's always crossover events that do something fucky with the game. In this one, you know, you get a car that's not really particularly suited for the task. And then in Dirt 3, you get your co-driver telling you where to go. Even though the track's clearly marked out. Don't know. Just don't know. One of them things, I reckon. Just one of them things. Gotta get some more RAM for my laptop. Gotta get some RAM so as I can record the Xbox 360 properly. I meet all of the requirements for the Elgato except RAM. I've got to get some RAM. January I'll get myself some more RAM, and hopefully I'll be able to record some Xbox 360 stuff, because I really want to play Dirt 3 now. Anyway, that was that. Next week, I said we'd get this stuff done this week, and I did. You didn't help at all, you just sat there and watched, but I did it. Next week, I'll actually unlock some fucking cars. I don't know which ones I'll go for first. The Astra. I'll go for the RS200 first, definitely. And then, I don't know, I'll probably just go top to bottom, same as usual.